Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. Today I want to walk you through my Switch collection in terms of games. Now I don't have many, this is all the Switch games I have. But I want to tell you why I have them in my collection and why I have chose these ones in particular. So if you're wondering about Switch games and which ones to buy, maybe this can help you with your buying journey. So let's start with Sonic Origins Plus. This game I bought because obviously I'm a Sonic fan. I'm a product of Sega Genesis, or as we called it in Australia, Mega Drive 2. I'm a product of that generation, and that's the generation I grew up on. PlayStation, Nintendo 64, around that era. So, Sonic is a big part of my childhood. And obviously, look, I'm always going to advocate trying to play it as original, close to original as possible. But Sega's pretty good at maintaining the originals if they can. Now, obviously, the original games were on cartridges, so you can't just put a disc into a console and play it. And Sega don't even release consoles, at least mainstream, anymore. So, this is probably the best way to play Sonic. There are console versions that also have this game that will run a lot better. But in terms of on the go and playing on Switch, I'll experience it that way. This is why I have Sonic Origins in my collection of Switch games. So, yeah, very sentimental about Sonic. Let's put that over there. Next I have Xenoverse 2, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Now, this is a game I've played primarily on the PlayStation. I've played it through on the PlayStation. I think I 100%ed all the trophies on the PlayStation. But also, I like it on the go. So, this will allow me to play the game, like if I'm bored and just want to play a Dragon Ball game. This is really good for on the go. And yeah, I really like this game as well. It's like one of the better Dragon Ball games they've ever made. The fact that it was like you could progress in a way that was like achievement system. Like it was done in a way that the achievements were, at least on the PlayStation. Achievements, I don't know if achievements are on here, but I don't really pay attention to the achievements on Switch if there are any, because it's not that big a deal. And I think achievements ruined gaming. I will do a video about achievements ruining gaming at some point, but for this, it's one of the better Dragon Ball games that I've played. I've played Budokai as well. Budokai is really great. That's probably gold standard. But this is really up there as well. Fighters is just the fighting game. So it's like what you would consider like Tekken and all that. Like, this is a good fighting game. Mortal Kombat is in this category. It's not so much about the story like Xenoverse is. This is more about fighting and scenarios. And yes, there are certain stories in here that you can play, but it's not so much about that. It's more about the combat in this game. And, it's one of the better fighters as well. One of the Dragon Ball games are always going to be great in terms of fighting. World Order I haven't played too much of. I think I bought this on the off chance that the cover looked great. And also, it was one of those games that I was like, well, I have the other two Dragon Ball games. I might as well buy the third one and complete the series when I bought them. But yeah, World Mission, I haven't played too much, but yeah, it's a card game from what the cover says. So as I said, I'm not probably going to play this. I bought this one just based on the cover, and I liked that cover a lot. So yeah, that's why I bought this one. Do I need to say anything? I mean, it's Minecraft. I mean, look, I'm a big Minecraft fan. I don't reveal it too much, but on my PlayStation 5, and I've played it every generation since PS3. I haven't really got onto the online, the PC versions of Minecraft, and even the new PS4 version or PS5 version, where it just takes the Xbox version and ports it over. I still prefer the PS4 version, but on the go, this one's actually really good, and it is more resembling the Xbox version and whatever that version is called. But yeah, Minecraft is a game that I've put about 2,000 hours into, probably even more. So yeah, it's great to have this on the go. This is probably my go-to if I'm bored and just want to mess around. But yeah, Minecraft, you have to have Minecraft on just about everything. This one I bought to test. Red Dead Redemption I bought to test to see if the Switch could actually run it. Like, I was surprised that it could actually run this game, and I was like, no way, there's going to be glitches, or there's going to be something that messes up. Like, I didn't think the Switch would be able to run Red Dead Redemption, so that's why I bought it, and I was like, I have to test it. And it runs surprisingly well. Like, I mean, it's up to scale of maybe the PS3. So it's on that in terms of resolution, in terms of frame rates, in terms of all that other stuff. But this is like, it's surprising that a game from like 10 years ago, like Red Dead, is now available on the Switch. You never would have seen this on the Switch on a Nintendo console back in the day. Like, Nintendo were very strict about what they allowed on their platforms. And yeah, to see a game that is basically a shoot 'em up from Rockstar on the Switch, it's a 10-year-old game. It came out in, I believe, 2010, 2011. And to see this on the Switch, it's like you get to re-experience it, and this is at a time where they weren't really out on the newer consoles, so PlayStation have re-released it since. But I bought this at a time when it just wasn't available on the PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4. The only way you could play this on PlayStation was the PS3. And I think they may have did it at the same time as the PlayStation, but I mean, at that point I was just like, you know what? I'll buy the digital version and I'll get this for on the go, because I'm more or less I'd prefer to play it on the go, essentially, this game, because it's a smaller game, it's not going to be too taxing on the Switch, and it's also one of those games I've been meaning to replay, so it's like, I don't necessarily have to be home to play it. That's why that's in my collection. Crash Bandicoot Insane. Now, I have, I grew up on the Crash Bandicoot games on PlayStation 1, and yes, I've talked in previous videos about the Insane Trilogy and what the Insane Trilogy means, and about how remasters, they should always preserve the original game. If they're going to do the Insane Trilogy, I would have preferred if they had like 3 downloadable things in here where you could play the original games as they were intended. Lara Croft Remastered, the 3 original games of Lara Croft that they've recently put out, they allow you to play with the original graphics, so that's a really big plus. But yes, that's my... Look, I'm not going to complain too much because this runs great on the Switch, and in terms of the game I've played the most on the Switch at this point, it's the Insane Trilogy, other than Sonic. Sonic is second most at this point. This is the most played game on my Switch, just because I can always play Crash Bandicoot. I will play the levels over and over again, and I've been doing that since they first released this in like 1996, the original games. Now, this is a lot easier than the original games, I'll say that. The Insane Trilogy, they've made it a lot easier for gamers, and that's not a bad thing, because the original Crash games were really difficult, like, to try to complete, because you would have had to go through levels without dying at some points. Now, if you were a gamer like me, you could do it, but for most younger gamers and whatever, it's a lot harder. But they've made it a lot easier in this game. You can still die in this game and essentially get the gem at the end of the level. So, yeah, really good. This is a really good game, but I still prefer the originals. But on the go, I will play Crash Bandicoot. It's the most played game on my Switch at this point. Pokemon Sword I haven't played yet, but, you know, I have to have a Pokemon game on Switch. It would have been criminal for me to have a Switch and not have a Pokemon game. Now, people will say, you should have bought this Pokemon game or that Pokemon game or whatever. Like, I got this Pokemon game because it was $40. The rest were like $70. It was secondhand, so I was like, yeah, okay, for $40, like, whatever, I'll buy it for $40 and I can just have a Pokemon game. And I will play it eventually, so I want to play this game. But, you know, I'm a fan of the original 150, like, that was my era of Pokemon. And yes, during my era when I used to watch Pokemon, they went up to 250 Pokemon, and then I kind of gave up after that, like Pokemon Gold and Silver. And Crystal were in that as well. But that was like the last Pokemon generation I played. But yeah, this is something that I want to check out. Although, you know, I don't know how entertained I'm going to be by it, because now they've got like, what, 1,000 Pokemon or something? So, you know, I'm an older Pokemon gamer, but I had to buy it for $40. I mean, it's not going to break the bank to get a Pokemon game for $40. Super Mario Wonder I have, but I haven't played it yet, because I'm playing through Super Mario U Deluxe. So I'm playing through this one first, and then I'm going to play Wonder. And the reason for that is that I had a DS, don't get me wrong, I had a DS, but I didn't have the Wii U, I didn't have Nintendo consoles. Like, the last Nintendo console I had, home console, was a Nintendo 64. So this is like my entry point back into Nintendo, in terms of like something I can play at home. Or I don't have the dock, so I have a Nintendo Switch Lite at the moment. But, you know, if I was to play it on TV, then basically the Switch Lite and the Switch main, they run exactly the same. So I prefer it on the go because I prefer the old school feel of the Game Boy. And yeah, the Switch Lite comes really close to the Game Boy. I also have Odyssey, which I have played. So I'll talk about all three Mario games. Now, Mario Odyssey I played through with my original Switch buy. I did have a Switch back in when it first released. I gave it away to a family member though because I felt like my problem with the original Switch release was that it felt like it was trying to be a console, but it wasn't committing to being a console, and it felt like it was trying to be a handheld, but it wasn't committing to being a handheld. And for me, it was just like, well, I'm not. I don't know what I'm. I don't necessarily know what the Switch is meant to be. And yes, people might say, but the Switch Lite, it's not a Switch anymore. Like, you've got a Nintendo, but it's not a Switch because you've got the Switch Lite. It doesn't dock to the TV. And it's like, cool, but like, I prefer it because it's something that feels like it's a handheld. And the Switch Lite does handheld very well. Whereas the Switch, the other Switch, it's like you have to dock it, you have to do this and that. And it's like, some people prefer that, and you can play it on your TV. I just prefer it on the go. So that's why I played Odyssey on that fully and then ended up giving it to my family members. But yeah, Odyssey is a really great game. I had to rebuy it because I'm going to replay it at some point because great game. But yeah, that's in my collection for a reason. And then yeah, obviously you have Deluxe and Wonder, which feel a lot more like the old school Super Mario games. And obviously I'm old school, so I like the original graphics and like the old school feel of 2D Mario games. So that's why I have these. But as I said, I'm going to play this one first before I play this because I want to get the feel of the Switch, how it handles Mario games. Let's put that the other way around. And then to finish on, I've also got Legend of Zelda. Now, this one's still sealed because I haven't played number one yet. I'm still playing through number one. I've got about not even a quarter. I've got like probably 15% into the game. I'm enjoying it so far, but it's a matter of like, I want to experience this one over the course of many months. I'm not going to sit down and just try to speed run through it. I want to just slowly work my way through it, find out the world, find out if I'm into this Legend of Zelda. And then, if I want to move on, it's right there ready to go at a second's notice. And people might say, but you haven't even played the original. Why did you buy the second one? I got a great deal on it. JB Hi-Fi was having a sale, and I'm sure it will drop at some point. But the fact that I have it in my collection ready to go, I don't have to try to run around and see who has it or what's this or what's that. The moment I complete this, I can easily go on and say, okay, I want to just pull it off my shelf and it's ready to go at a second's notice. I don't have to think about it. But yes, Legend of Zelda I've been enjoying so far. What's this one called? Breath of the Wild. Yeah, Breath of the Wild is really great. But it's one of those games that I'm essentially going to play over the course of many months. I'm going to play it slowly, get a feel for the world and understand essentially what sort of game it is. Like, the Zelda games have changed so much over the years, but yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. So yeah, as I said, gonna play through that first, and then I'll move on to what's the second one? Tears of the Kingdom. Is it Tears of the Kingdom? Yes, Tears of the Kingdom will be the one I play afterwards. If I enjoy Zelda. If I don't enjoy Zelda, I've already made a deal to give it away to a family member, but I want to play them through first. I want to see what they're like. I want to experience Zelda on the Switch, and then I'll make my decision from there. But anyways, guys, that's what's in my Switch collection in 2024 right now as we speak, in April 2024. And let's line these up so they're all nice and aligned. There we go. So yeah, tell me what's in your Switch collection. What's your favorite games on the Switch? Is there something that I don't have here that you would recommend if you're a Switch gamer? I am, as I said, I haven't really been a Nintendo console gamer since the Nintendo 64. And I have had DSs, so in all fairness to the DS, but DS was a handheld. And as I said, the Switch Lite, the fact that I can have console performance on a handheld, that's why I picked up the Switch Lite. I didn't really prefer to have console performance on a TV with a Nintendo console. That's why I didn't get the dock. That's why I got bored of my original Switch and I gave it away. I like the Switch Lite. So tell me what runs great on the Switch Lite for you. What works best as a handheld? Not as a on TV game, but what works best for you? Jump in my comments and let me know, because I am really interested in hearing from Nintendo gamers who are big fans of Nintendo and have all the Switch games and have played them all. Like, let me know what I should be playing and what games you would recommend. As I said, I tend to lean more towards the games I grew up on, like the Sonics and also the Minecraft you could also say is in there, but where's Crash Bandicoot? Yeah, Crash Bandicoot. So, I lean towards games I've grown up on. So, let me know. Like, is there a way to play the original Pokemon games? Like, I have the subscription service that you can play Tetris through and the Game Boy Classics. I've been playing the crap out of those. Sorry. I've been playing those a lot because they are really great games, and I can go back and endlessly replay Tetris over and over and over and over and over on the Game Boy. It's like it's that game that I keep going back to generation after generation. I could also say that about Super Mario Land, but for some weird reason, Super Mario Land's not on the subscription, the classic console thing on Switch. And it's great that you have Nintendo 64 there as well. Nintendo 64 games, I mean, it's great that we have GoldenEye on the Switch as well, like it runs, but I'd prefer to just, if they put it on a cartridge and just release it and I can play it as I please. Banjo-Kazooie, is Banjo-Kazooie on there? I feel like I played part of Banjo-Kazooie on the Switch, but yeah. It's great to see these games coming to the new consoles, but the thing I like for Banjo-Kazooie in a way is that they stick with the original opening, which with the Nintendo drums and all that. With Rare, when Microsoft bought it, they changed a lot of that for the Xbox 360 remasters. But it's great to see that maintained in the Switch versions that are on subscription. But they should always have an option to buy. And as I said, Pokemon games, they really need to get the Pokemon games out there. Like, if Nintendo said, okay, we're going to release Pokemon Red, Yellow, and Blue again, and then we're also going to release Crystal, Gold, and Silver, I'd buy all of them. I don't care what they charge. I mean, I would have reservations about what the cap should be on the games, and I probably wouldn't buy if they went too high. But, if they charged like, oh, we'll put these at $39.99 and, you can pick whatever game you want or whatever. Like, if it's a price that I feel like I'm going to get hours of entertainment out of, I'll pay something like that, even for an old game, because it is part of my childhood. But it's also like, I want them available to me, Anyways, guys, I'm ranting on now, so I'm going to end it here. Like, subscribe, drop comment, notify, super chats, I don't know. Whatever you feel like doing. Yeah. I'll talk to you again, and yeah, if you're a Nintendo gamer, let me know what you think of the collection, and tell me what's in your collection. Tell me what I should be buying and what I should be playing, because I love to hear from you guys, and yeah. Hope to catch you in the next one. Peace out.